Hello, guys. Are we on time? I guess we are. We are going to be watching Iga Świątek against Yulia Putintseva. I think we've already had 2 points played, but don't worry. We are still pretty much at the very beginning of the match. At first, our plan was to do this stream sort of alongside Zverev Nori, but that, of course, ended just before the match started. So it's going to be separate streams, actually. James just brought to you that three-set clash between Alexander Zverev and Cam Norrie, which apparently really fired up in the third set tiebreak. If the producer won't be here in a second, I'll probably put on the score myself. Well, I guess I'll do that now, and then if he comes in, then he's gonna do it by himself. But anyway, for now, let's just enjoy Świątek against Putintseva. This is, of course, the third round. Already awaiting for the winner of that clash in the fourth round, or awaiting the winner, I should rather say, of that clash in the fourth round is Jelena Ostapenko, which makes it even more exciting because Świątek and Ostapenko have this famous head-to-head, or if you're looking at it from Świątek's perspective, I would even say maybe say infamous head-to-head of basically 4-0 towards the player who was the underdog in at least 2 or 3 of these matches. And especially last year's US Open was pretty famous in that it turned out that their matchup issue, if you may, is kind of real. That Jelena was really making Iga play be maybe not that smart and just kind of lured her into that big hitting contest where like she just tried to hit her off the court. And it's of course very hard to hit Jelena Ostapenko off the court given she's extremely powerful. And well, that would be a fantastic clash. That would be a proper blockbuster for the fourth round. The only person who doesn't want to see it is Iga Świątek, and probably her fans as well, since they will not be feeling too comfortable. But of course, they still want Iga to make it today, beating Yulia Putintseva and actually face Ostapenko and get that first win potentially. When it comes to Putintseva, Świątek has actually a 4-0 head-to-head record against her, so completely the opposite to the head-to-head against Ostapenko. 2 matches this year, Indian Wells and Rome. Rome was actually kind of exciting, I have to say. It was not a bad match at all. 4-1 in the second set was the lead for Putintseva, and if memory serves right, I believe she eventually also even led. I mean, she had a few break points in that 4-1 game. Is what I'm trying to say. So she was close to really putting in a pretty dominant effort in the second set. Eventually, that didn't turn out possible as Świątek came back and won that 6-4. The match in Indian Wells was much easier though. So we'll see how it's gonna work out today between them. Just put on the score for you. Hopefully you can see it more or less. 15-30 now already in the Putintseva service game. This is definitely a very different matchup to what Świątek has had to face so far. I mean, she has faced Sofia Kenin and Petra Martic, both players with like considerable early rally aggression. Putintseva more in that gritty counter puncher type. Definitely having a great year as well, and I think she could be a problem for Świątek on grass, but a lot will depend on like how early Iga finds her timing. So far, she's doing okay. I mean, she's just forcing another error out of Putintseva here, and she will already have 2 breakpoints. A great start like this, of course, would be very good for her. In the first 2 rounds, Świątek was winning over 80% of her first serve points. I don't think this will really hold up today. I think it was mostly because of the type of opposition that she was facing. Sofia Kenin was just trying to slam her returns and was missing them a lot, whereas Petra Martic was just kind of after let's say a few games, she had that issue with her left sort of like I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was sort of around her thigh or maybe even lower back. And yeah, she wasn't moving too well. So I think it was mostly based on sort of the type of opposition and the way that they were playing that Iga had such amazing serve stats. If they were going to hold up against Putintseva, that would be very impressive because, of course, Yulia has just a very different game profile to Sofia, or to Petra. Completely sort of not relying on her serve as much as they do. And it should be just more rallies, more play in general. We'll see if the scoreline gets more competitive as well or not. It was actually 6-3, 6-4, and 6-4, 6-3, I think, in Świątek's first 2 rounds. So these matches against Kenin and Martic were somewhat competitive, but because Iga never fell into trouble on her own serve, that's why it never really also got to like, oh yeah, she might lose this. It never really felt like that. Well, Putintseva saves two break points. There was a bit of a bad bounce on that second one, and Iga couldn't connect with her backhand, but we're still in the game as Putintseva just hits a double fault. Yeah, I mean, Putintseva can be a nightmare opponent to play. I think she's super gritty. She's kind of like if you get nervous against her, you might really start feeling it even more because she's gonna make you work for the points, and you can't really lose your confidence. You can't lose the confidence in your strokes, and that's kind of where she swoops in, and she's one of the more dangerous players then. I feel like in a way it's also kind of comparable to the Sorribes Tormo matchup for Swiatek, where like we've said in the past that sometimes playing an opponent like Sorribes Tormo early in the event is actually really good for her, like it was in Beijing last year, because it allows you to like start constructing points and just really get tuned in with the surface and with the timing of your ground strokes. And I think it's similar here. However, Putintseva is, for one thing, I think more dangerous to Swiatek than Sorribes Tormo in my book. And also, if Iga beats Putintseva today, she's going to be playing Jelena Ostapenko next. And that is just such a different matchup. So I'm not really sure that this potential gain would really be useful in the next round. But yeah, a couple of quality returns here from Swiatek. On the previous breakpoint, Putintseva found a nice serve down the tee, but now it's going to be a second, so we know that Iga will be trying to attack it. And well, she was, but again, Putintseva finds the line. This time it's the back line of the service box, though. So it was a very deep second serve, and that's what's causing the error from Swiatek here. So still deuce. Long game to start things off. I think, especially as Iga is a really good front runner, getting an early break here would be really good for her. Just not allow Putintseva to sort of be in any position where she can keep the match closer with her competitive spirit, with her grit, with her determination. And yeah, just not make this like a nervy affair. That's kind of what you want, right? That early break potentially. Igami's hitting that backhand, and Putintseva is gonna take advantage. Gonna be game point now. Of course, this match is held on center on court number 1. So the previous match here was Shapovalov against Shelton, but the outside courts today finally are also getting some play. It stopped raining a couple of hours ago, and we have a lot of matches going on right now at Wimbledon. I'll probably be mentioning some of them a bit later. But for now, let's see, as Putintseva claims that first game, saving 4 breakpoints in total, I believe. She approaches the net here, mostly on the cusp of a net court that forced her to go there. And Swiatek fails to make the forehand pass despite having quite a lot of time on it. I would question the choice of direction as well. But yeah, Putintseva got what she wanted, saved these 4 breakpoints. She's in it. Fascinating character. We're probably going to see some runs from her today as well. She calls herself a gangster on the court and an angel off of it. I cannot speak to the second part, but she is a gangster on the court sometimes for sure. When the WTA was having that on-court coaching rule, right? Then I remember there were a lot of funny clips from Putintseva just talking with her coach, and talking with her coach usually meant screaming at him or blaming him for like not doing much, or like, I don't know, just sitting there and not supporting her. There were lots of instances like this. Definitely a personality, a unique personality in the tennis world for sure. But that's not what's on the court. Although, I mean, to an extent, of course, that also is a factor in matches. Her determination is a thing, and it's definitely helping her against some high quality opposition she maybe otherwise wouldn't be beating. But yeah, this year is a nice resurgence for her. And I think, in fact, like if you look at this draw that she's had at Wimbledon, and including Iga Swiatek in the third round, like this is literally one of the toughest possible sections. She had Angelique Kerber, former Wimbledon champ, in the opening round, and then Katerina Siniakova in the second round. Siniakova, who's just, I don't know, won Bad Homburg on grass last year, just did very well in another grass event just before this event. So I think that Kerber, Siniakova, and Świątek first 3 rounds, like that's one of the toughest possible draws you could have gotten. So it would be amazing for her to actually get out of this section and play Ostapenko in the 4th round. I wonder how that matchup history looks. I'm pretty sure they've played, but I cannot, off the top of my head, I don't know. But still, of course, the big favorite for today is Iga Świątek. And we're kind of looking at it more like, well, can Putintseva make things competitive and potentially get Świątek into some of these tight scenarios and ask the questions, see if the ground stroke timing and rhythm will be there or not. So far, it seems okay for Świątek. I think she started pretty well. Looks like she's going to cruise to another routine hold. I do kind of feel like that Putintseva's game in the long run is probably not like imposing enough, maybe, and it will probably give Iga some time to like work things out, and at some point she's just gonna find a way to battle and to hit through the Kazakh. But well, that's kind of like a general thing, right? That she hasn't lost to like I can't say Putintseva is maybe like a defense first, but she generally isn't losing to players who aren't like taking the racket out of her hands. I guess though grass might be a little different. We still haven't seen her play all that much on this surface. She lost to Svitolina last year at Wimbledon, but Svitolina was also playing like very aggressively there. 2 years ago against Cornet, that definitely was a defense first performance from Aliza. So maybe on grass it can happen. Iga, of course, no grass court warm-ups before this event. Because of that fatigue from the first half of the season after winning Roland Garros and basically winning everything possible on clay besides Stuttgart. But it looks like she is still in decent shape, and she should be a threat. I mean, betting-wise, she's the favorite to win the title. I wonder, if they play in the semis, I think I would favor Rybakina over her maybe. Ostapenko is definitely a real threat in the 4th round, but she is undoubtedly among the main contenders to clean up this tournament. I think you should see the score more or less pretty well. So fine, yeah. As you can see, we are playing under a roof. I don't know if I said it explicitly earlier, but that's what I was implying when I said that. Well, they are playing on the outside courts, but we still have a roof on here, as it's unclear whether the rain won't come back relatively soon. I think it should be fine for a couple more hours though. And yeah, speaking of the other matches that I mentioned, we have a few going on right now. Giovanni Mpeci Pericard close to the win against Emil Rusevuori already. He's going to be serving for it, actually. I watched some of that third set tiebreak, and he definitely was playing well, just kind of relying more on that athleticism than in the previous matches, especially than against Korda. Like against Korda, it was just like such low margin hitting. And today he was also extending points pretty nicely and using these improvements even on grass that he's made this year, which up until this match, really, I thought that is kind of the weakness in his grass court game, that he can't show how much he's improved. Today against Emil, I can't really say that no, based on the parts of the match that I watched. We also have Fields playing Safiulin. It's the 4th set. It's the last year's Wimbledon quarterfinalist Safiulin leading 2-1 now. And Putintseva double faults in the first point of the 4th game, but she should be taking this one. Really nice attacking combination from her. The forehand line and then just wrapping it up in style as well. And we also have Quentin Wallace, who just took the first set over Rune. I think that's a clear upset alert. I mean, I've spoken about it ad nauseum, so I think by now you know how Quentin Wallace is a proper threat at the moment. And also the one match that you mentioned is Comesania against Musetti, where Fran lost the first set pretty easily, but now they are on serve in the second. And we still have one more match as well going on the women's side, where Harriet Dart is facing Xinyu Wang, and they are into the third set. We just lost the last Brit in the men's singles draw, but still in the women's singles, of course, there's Emma Raducanu who's going to be playing tomorrow, and Harriet Dart indeed is battling against Xinyu Wang. Currently seems to be pretty close to losing right now. But who knows? Maybe she will find her way. Would be awesome for French tennis if both Fils and Pecci Pericard secured their first Grand Slam second weeks on the same day. But we'll find out soon if that works out. So far, a couple of longer rallies won by Putintseva. That's what she wants. Get in and hopefully get an error at some point. But what a cannon return from Swiatek here. It's going to be 40-30 for the Kazakh anyway. That was probably like before Putintseva even got back on the ground. That was already on her side of the court, I think. Massive shot. And another deep quality return will also get Swiatek to deuce. So for the second game in a row on the Putintseva serve, we are deucing. We are in potential trouble for the Kazakh. Second game of the match, he saved 4 breakpoints. Oh, Swiatek's smash is usually quite good. I remember uh, that great one from like middle of the court falling backwards, but she actually misses an easy one here, and it's gonna be a game point Putintseva. Very easily could have been a breakpoint for her as she tracked down a Putintseva drop shot, played a very deep response, and yeah, seemingly got an easy lob from the Kazakh, but no, and it's 2 games all now. Putintseva will probably be bringing Swiatek forward quite a bit. That's something that kind of you have to test if you're playing Swiatek, I think, as a pretty crafty player. So far, I mean, she won this point, although that was mostly on the error, but still, that's what you want to take advantage of, right? Anyway, 2 games all. Iga Świątek about to serve. It's a nice kicker, and she finds the +1 forehand winner as well. Super clean on serve so far. We'll see if the stats that I mentioned from the previous rounds hold up, but I think so far they have. And it would be very impressive if they did against this type of opponent. Fertilov up as well. So far, the spot serving on the Świątek serve is definitely quite amazing. And it's allowing her to set up a lot of these easy points. She doesn't take one of them now, kind of rushing that forehand. But it's still 30-15. She looks more or less comfortable in this game as well. Another serve on the line. Ooh, but does she miss that? Okay, so she might not be that comfortable in the end. There's a challenge coming. I'm not sure what the original call was, to be honest. Putintseva seems very confident that it was out. I would agree with that. And another +1 forehand error might actually... No, actually, it's in. Okay, yeah, 40-15 then. Well, sometimes the line between pinpoint accuracy and an error is very very slim, right? Very thin. But yeah, it is what it is. Speaking of the Świątek spot serving, what an ace down the tee here. Putintseva was so close to covering that, and yet she couldn't. Yeah, we've got 3 to Świątek right now, and so far the serving is holding up. The serving is looking just as good as it did against players who were kind of slumming away at it and weren't really playing like a but basically we're playing like a low margin return style, which Putintseva definitely is not. So it's impressive so far. She hasn't been able to get that break. Oh, Matthew, why are you doubting Holger? Why are you doubting Quentin again? I don't know if you were doubting Quentin earlier, actually, so I don't know if again is the right word, but I do think that he has an excellent shot at Holger Rune today. I'm not really sure Holger is better on grass than him. Yeah, feels just has to hold his serve and start reading Alice's serve and taking better guesses. But the 5 is his friend. Yeah, hello. I am back. I'm not sure actually what happened, but it seems that my internet simply decided to die on me. But in the meantime, Iga Świątek broke to love, and well, what I was talking about earlier is that if Iga is feeling it off the ground, if she's really like in good rhythm, and Putintseva cannot handle that sort of shot quality, cannot handle the longer exchanges, then it's going to be very hard for her to win this to win this match, I believe. And yeah, she got broken there somewhat easily. Matthew GMP is on which side of the draw? He is not in the Sinner side of the draw. He is in the third quarter. He is actually in that Tsitsipas section. And well, because that section blew up, I think GMP has an excellent chance to keep going. I mean, next up, he's going to be playing Comesania or Musetti. And then after that, it's going to be either Alexander Zverev, Taylor Fritz, or Alejandro Tabilo for him. So, like, the chance for at least the quarters is real. Yeah, Jane, I will be giving some fields updates for sure. I mean, I am definitely monitoring the situation there in that match. I would love to see that potential second week for him as well there. But I see that, well, he had a chance to serve for the fourth set, and he had a set point even on serve, 40-30. But now now he got broken. So yeah, but well, he had a chance to get us to the fifth set. If he loses in four, it's kind of gonna be on him. Świątek 30 all now on her serve at 4-2. Putintseva getting that error in a prolonged exchange down the middle. Bound for Rusevori, but he did his job on Thursday. Yeah, he was kind of outplayed today. I mean, let's remember that Emil, before that match with Tsitsipas, hadn't played like a decent tournament since Hong Kong, probably since January. So the expectations weren't really high. I mean, it's still a decent result for him. I think it's still a decent outcome for him, but sure, I mean, could have done a bit better. Important point here, 30 all, before I begin talking about something else. Putintseva slicing to the Świątek forehand. The timing from Iga is holding up. She gets a short ball and she's going to punish it. Really good point construction here. Not much to add, really. I think she handled both the change of pace from Yulia very well, but then also just produced a couple of nice angles. So Kyrgios Djokovic warm up. I mean, they've been kind of like more friendly to each other the last few years. The last two, let's say, or something. I don't really know what sort of spectacle you're talking about, to be honest. Like they did warm up to each other. I know that at the beginning of Nick's career, especially, he was really well. He was often saying stuff about Novak and Rafa. He kind of always loved Roger, but about Novak and Rafa, he was saying some he was giving us some dumb takes. But the last few years, they've become friendlier, and yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really something that I have a take on. Nick is clearly, getting back in shape. He's gonna play. He's not close. I mean, it seems like he's not far from returning to the courts. And that's another stunning point from Świątek, by the way. Finished off with a backhand down the line winner. So I've got 5-2 for her, and really good. No, Ghosty. I mean, Kyrgios is in London anyway. He's commentating. So he's in London anyway. He isn't. He didn't fly there only to play Djokovic. No, I can't tell you which TV station he's working for now. Is it Eurosport or is it whatever? But I actually heard a stream with him commentating a couple of days ago. Draper Nori. He was doing Draper Nori, and I was watching that, and he was doing that alongside. Yeah, I don't remember, but Nick was definitely doing Draper Nori. Yeah, so he was in London anyway. And yeah, 5-2, great stuff. Nurlan was there, nice. I like Hubi, but he's not my favorite Paul. What's going on? Yeah, my internet was failing. Is GMP a contender? Definitely. I mean, playing Comesania or Musetti in the fourth round, I mean, he'd take it any day, right? He already played Lorenzo this grass swing actually in Stuttgart, and was a couple of tie breaks, a couple of very tight tie breaks as well. So yeah, he is a contender to make the quarters for sure. And the quarter final, honestly, I mean, Zverev, Fritz, Tabilo, like it's not the end of the world. We're gonna see. And yeah, feels manufactured. How do you think Iga is looking in grass? There definitely seems to be some progress. I think the first match against Kenin was kind of just Sofia flat, trying to maintain pace that was she was unable to, and it was not as tough for Swiatek as in Australia, which is kind of a good sign. Second round, I wouldn't look at all because Martic was basically injured, and Iga was actually returning very poorly in that match. I think that she kind of was also like not trying to win the most efficiently. Like I think partially, maybe it was subconscious, but but I maybe it was subconsciously, but I think she was kind of trying to like really go hard at her shots and like not really pay attention to the fact that Martic is injured and kind of can't move at some point of the match, which is okay, I think. But today, so far, that's kind of the match that tells us, okay, yeah, she's finding her gram strokes in good rhythm. She's not like in Melbourne where she said that she wasn't feeling the court at all and kind of just had to focus on these very basic technical things. And it's impossible to play like that when you have to really think about what you're doing technically. You gotta kind of just have that ability to think about, well, how to actually craft out a point and stuff, right? Not sort of come back to the basics on a technical level. So I think that's a good sign for her that she's doing this so far. But all that discussion might be useless if we have Ostapenko in the fourth round, right? It's just such a different opponent than Putintseva. It's an opponent that can make basically anyone in the world have to scramble for balls. So I think before we see that Ostapenko matchup in the fourth round, we will not really know that much about her ability to stay longer in the tournament. But is she hitting the ball well on grass? Yes. Was she hitting the ball well on grass last year? Yes. I think Iga easily could have won Wimbledon last year if she beats Svitolina, given that she would have to play Vondroushova in the semis and then Jabeur in the final. So um, I don't think it's like a huge deal of difference. I don't think it's a huge difference between this year and last year. I think last year she was perfectly fine on the grass as well. And this again, this doesn't say that she's going to win the title or that she's going to go super deep even, because she might have, well, she will have on Elena Ostapenko in the next round if she beats Yulia Putintseva. So far 5-3. There was another one of these cannon forehand returns when Putintseva is serving wide on the deuce side, but again, it didn't really, like, it was at 15-40, and Putintseva takes the game. Brilliant point for 40-15 with the forehand winner down the line. Showing that while she's kind of known for being a good fighter and her counter punching, she can also up the pace herself. And now it's the most important game of the set, perhaps, with Swiatek serving at 5-3. And first point is actually an error from her. We're gonna see a Hawkeye of this, and I do think that that ball could have been in, and it was. Yeah, Swiatek should have challenged. I was thinking, I'm not sure that's out, and Putintseva seemed very confident, which maybe was actually what caused Swiatek not to challenge. So it works like that sometimes. But yeah, it just barely touched the line. Like, it was impossible to notice with the human eye, I think. Anyway, Iga Swiatek approaching the net here. Different idea this time. She doesn't take that smash, just fully off the air. She actually kind of just pushes it over the net. Fine. I mean, I don't know if it screams confidence, but I think that's a fine way of settling this. 15 all, just 3 points away from the set, which would be a very, very, very nice set from her so far, I think. Just one break, but definitely causing plenty of issues to Putintseva. Great forehand down the line now as well. Just clinical. These sort of points that she's playing all the time, and she's kind of the best in the world at it, probably, with just extremely high percentage ways of finishing a +1 shot like this. 30-15. Another good serve. but she's gonna make a backhand error into the, well, semi-open court, let's say. If it lands in, Putintseva is in deep defense, but it didn't. So just 2 points away from the set still, but of course Putintseva might also bring up a break point if Swiatek isn't careful. Looks like Fils has another set point, this time on the Safiullin serve, and it's gonna be two sets all, so that's the Fils update. But for now, let's see about the Swiatek update. I think that serve is just wide. Second serve at 30 all. I wonder what Putintseva's attitude towards this is going to be. Is she just gonna put it in play, or is she gonna try to ram it? I think she has both options really in her arsenal. It's gonna be a retoss from Swiatek. Very interesting play from Putintseva, and she wins the point. Wow. She played the backhand drop. I mean, she played the backhand drop shot of the return. Swiatek got to it in time, but kind of had to leave half the court open with the way that she chose to play the shot. Forehand slice approach. Yeah, I mean, maybe it wasn't the right play, but at the same time, like such a unique return that you don't really know what to do with it. And she's pissed off. Like she's really screaming here. Well, kind of shows you that she has a lot of respect for Putintseva and she really wants to get this set done quickly. So it's the first breakpoint that she is going to face in this match. Could really use another one of these very precise first serves that she was firing left and right at the beginning of the set. Maybe not this game really. This time she goes at the body, and again she's just so clean trying to find that +1. There's no there's no hesitation, there's no real sense that she might miss this shot, you know? And that's actually a very good strength for her, maybe on grass as well going forwards. Just the fact that she can set up these points with the serve a bit more often, because she plays a hell lot of them on clay as well. You know, a lot of them on clay as well. But I guess with the serve, it's not always going to be that easy for her. This time, Putintseva chooses a different approach to her second, and she actually attacks a forehand in deep into Iga's position, and she gets an error. So it's going to be another breakpoint for Putintseva, who's really threatening the Swiatek serve in this game. Iga will need another one of these clinical points to survive. What's she gonna do with the serve? Great return from Putintseva. She's on the attack. Swiatek so far holding up okay, but she really has to defend her position here. And wow, she's getting that forehand really high pace. Amazing point from her. I know we usually say that like with her extreme grip and kind of how her forehand stroke looks, she can have time absorbing. She can have a hard time absorbing pace on grass courts. But here, I mean, come on. And this was also similar in the Kenyan round one, where she was actually really holding up very well in all these prolonged forehand cross court exchanges. This was maybe not as much of a forehand cross court exchange between her and Putintseva. There were some elements of it. Putintseva also had a couple of backhands directed in that corner, but Swiatek just survived that pace coming from Yulia extremely well. So yeah, another really nice sign. If she can just get this game, she would be in great position. But what the hell is that return from Putintseva now? She fires a return winner. I don't know if I should say fire because it's literally a squash shot return winner. So she kind of chips it in, and it lands on the left line. So it's one more breakpoint for Putintseva now. Swiatek was pissed after that first point that she lost to give Putintseva a breakpoint. Now she's kind of like no reaction to that somewhat fortunate return. And I think it's going to be a second serve too. Many ways for Putintseva to approach that one. She'll definitely want to do something and not just roll the ball in play. Ooh, and yeah, she dumps the return into the net. That's the kind of mistakes you cannot afford to be making, especially in this match, right? When you're playing the word number one, you have that breakpoint right back. One of your main strengths is the consistency. Unfortunate mistake for her here. 3 breakpoints saved by Świątek by now. 2 with absolutely clinical +1 points. And, well, actually, the second one also needed a 5th shot, I guess. But still, with early aggression after the serve. And now Putintseva missing that second serve return, which was definitely makeable. She was trying to go aggressive with it, but I don't think she was trying to go like all out. So yeah, kind of an unforgivable error for her here, and Świątek might just do that. I mean, might just not forgive her that. 5-3 advantage. Iga Świątek serving to get herself the first set. Pretty deep serve, probably long. I think so. And let's see. Will Putintseva, will it be a kicker to the Putintseva backhand again? I mean, it worked last time on this side. It is. This time Putintseva gets it in play. Still needs to win the rally though, and she doesn't as she's attempting to hit an inside-out backhand. So, in the end, we've got Iga Świątek winning 6-3. Wasn't the most comfortable set given the last game, but in general, I think her level has been very high. Once again, I will say though that like regardless of how she plays today, next up is Ostapenko, which is going to be such a different challenge. But well, it can't be a bad sign if you're playing very well against a different type of opponent. It might just be, a little irrelevant, I suppose, for that next match, but it is what it is. Brilliant point, Iga again. Today is the anniversary of Althea Gibson's run. Really gritty hold. Shelton showing a lot of grit out there, says Sean. Yeah, that match today was kind of wild against Chapo. I think after the first set, Ben was clearly the better player, but there was also that moment when he was struggling a bit with his thigh and with his. What else was there? One of the issues was the thigh, and the other was the knee that he had taped. I'm not sure which one was for a moment like kind of limiting his mobility, and he was also very like he was probably struggling to hit through his forehand for a second as well. I think he was kind of avoiding it, Alcaraz Madrid style. But in the end, he managed to overcome that, and I think after the first set, his return quality was like so much different to Chapo's. He was actually the much better returner in that match. Also able to extend points better with like how athletic he is around the court. I think he was clearly the deserved winner there in the end. Just kind of played one awful game at the end of the fourth set to make it go 5, but probably could have taken it in 4 as well. Chapo doesn't quite defend his round 4 points from last year. And well, Shelton against Sinner would be good for Ben to be even like at least competitive in that one, at least a bit competitive in that one. I hope he will, I hope he will give us a match, but who knows. Iga's serve looks better this year. What do you think? Yeah, it's been a bit of a slow growth. I think it's been a bit of a slow growth, but she is definitely doing somewhat better this event, especially today against a good retriever in Putintseva. I think that her first serve for a long while already, I don't think it's been an issue really. Sometimes when she's gonna be playing some very aggressive opponent, the second might be. I mean, we'll see against Ostapenko as well, right? I mean, maybe Elena can tell us a lot about how good the Świątek serve is right now and whether she's gonna be able to smash away at it. Although at the same time, Ostapenko can smash away at any serve. How can I enjoy tennis when I know in my mind that it's coming home, says Kim. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Is it? Aren't they gonna lose to Switzerland today? Aren't they just the better team? I don't know. What happened to Krejcikova? She won, right? She defeated Buzas Maneiro, I think so. I don't know, Snehil. I think that she was playing very well in the first few rounds against Benchi. She had that phenomenal comeback. She had a warm up as well on the grass. It is clearly the answer, says Nurlan. I don't know. Against Putintseva, is it the answer really to step further away? Against Martic, it was. I will give that to you that against Martic it was. But as I said, I kind of saw that Iga was like trying to go out there and like kind of push herself in that match against Petra. She wasn't really playing against an injured opponent. She was playing as if Martic was moving extremely well, which isn't the most efficient way of playing. But I don't know. Maybe that was the strategy for her. Maybe. But if you are playing well and you are confident, it should be helpful even against Stepenko, despite being a different matchup. Maybe, but we saw what happened at the US Open, right? When Jelena just made, I don't know, I mean, Jelena just made Iga lose her mind. Was it the best period in Iga's career? No. Sure. I mean, Canada and Cincy weren't too good for her, and they're probably not going to be too good for her every year, really. I mean, that's some of her weakest events, I think, conditions wise. But yeah, she just made Iga lose all that confidence in her game and all that belief and just start trying to out-heat Jelena. So I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm thinking about that. Yeah, I think Sinner will be too good for Shelton, but I would hope for a decent match. I don't know. We will see. Paddle tennis. Okay. Didn't know that about Althea Gibson. We've got some tidbits from Ghosty. And yeah, of course, I can keep you updated on how that Maya Collins as best as I can, given, I can only really look at the scores. But yeah, I will be mentioning the other matches as well for sure. We'll see how long this one will be, to be honest, because, at this stage, it might not be that long. But yeah, Bia Haddad Maya is actually 3-love up there with a double break already. So she is in a very good position to take the first set. To me, I think Haddad Maya might be a bit of a favorite. And I'm not saying that because she's 3-love up, like I've said it before as well, just because of like her natural grass court skills, which Collins kind of doesn't have. But of course, Daniel this year has been amazing and really playing fearless stuff. So it might be the best grass tennis that she's played as well, the first 2 rounds this event. And we also have Jabeur against Svitolina, where Svitolina took the first set. 6-1. That's crazy. Xinyu Wang, in the meantime, defeated Harriet Dart. And yeah, of course, that's kind of it. And with the fields updates, which Jane is definitely waiting for, we've got Arthur now, 2 points for a 3-love lead in the fifth. So kind of can't mess it up from there. I mean, that's what I would say, right? I mean, it's just exactly the position he wanted to find himself in. By the way, very interesting that he's out winnering Safiullin by like twice. He's got 51 winners to Safiullin's 26. I mean, Safiullin usually plays like a very aggressive style of tennis, right? I mean, just rushing fields of the ground seemed to be something that was going to be possible for him. But so far, it doesn't seem like it. I mean, seems like he's kind of smashing away at his ground strokes, Arthur, which is also impressive. And we also have Comesania taking the second set against Musetti. I think the level that Fran has displayed so far in this event, it's enough to trouble Musetti, but he actually had to save 2 set points in that set, so easily could have been Lorenzo 2-love up. And we also have Struff and Medvedev back on court, 4th set there. We'll see how that goes. And the last match I didn't mention is, of course, Rune Alice, where maybe the Dane will now have a bit of a chance. For the first time in the match, he might have a shot at breaking Alice. He's 15-30 up. We'll see how that goes. During the set, there was just 1 breakpoint so far, and that was actually an Alice opportunity, but he didn't take it. And Iga wins the next game, 1-game-all. There was a brilliant backhand down the line winner, but after that, just a couple of unreturned serves as the first serve continues to look really, really good. All right, Yulia Putintseva serving at 1-game-all, 3rd game of the second set about to begin. In fact, she's already won the first point. Does Iga find the return on the line? I guess not. Yeah, I think it's fairly low for Putintseva. As I said, there was this one match they played earlier this year, Rome, when she was already 4-1 up in the second set, Putintseva, and she had 4 breakpoints in that game, eventually losing 6-4 and kind of just losing, well, almost every point from there. So she did, display her ability to trouble Iga. Not in Indian Wells, but maybe that's actually gonna be easier in faster conditions like here. Should be at the very least. That first shot from Swiatek was great when she was trying to absorb the Putintseva cross-court forehand. Really got to it in time, very good movement, easily countered it cross-court. But then when she actually had more time on it and kind of overcomplicated things on the next one. And Putintseva claims the game. Very nice, quick hold for her. 2 games to 1 up. So far, she's doing really well in the second set and will be trying to put on some pressure on Swiatek after we're back. Alice actually 40-30, so maybe, yeah. Oh, and it's raining again on the outside courts. They've just interrupted most of the outside courts action, so this is officially the end, guys, to my updates regarding, well, at least for now, to my updates regarding Fils Safiullin and the likes. Ghosty also asked for Collins Haddad Maya. I can tell you that Collins Haddad Maya is ending at 4 games to love for Haddad Maya. In about 15 minutes, the Brazilian, well, won 3 very quick games and one that went to deuce on Daniel's serve. And with the Fils updates that Jane was requesting, it was 3 games to love when they stopped. I think they might have played like 1 point in the game, but I'm not sure. The scoring system is not, the live scoring app is not telling me that. I will check on the Wimbledon website. But anyway, Fils is up a break, 3 games and up a break in the set. I wonder what they're gonna do today. Like some of these matches, like Struff Medvedev, it kind of has to be finished, right? Struff Medvedev is the one that it has to be wrapped up today because the winner plays tomorrow, I think, right? Yeah, because the winner is in the top half. So Struff Medvedev is definitely a match that has to be moved to court number 1 later. And I wonder, no, Fils Safiullin is in the bottom half. So I think it's just Medvedev against Struff that has to be moved, like literally has to. It's easier on the women's side because yesterday they finished the entire round. On the men's, it's a little bit more tricky, but the other matches that we still haven't had are all bottom half. So yeah, not Fils Safiullin, Struff Medvedev is the one that will have to be moved to an arena with a roof because the winner of that match plays tomorrow. I'm assuming some of you guys probably also have some takes on the Emma Raducanu withdrawal with Murray mixed. I was actually just thinking today because last night I was out, so I actually missed Raducanu against Sakari. And I was watching the highlights of that match today, and I was just thinking to myself, I mean, Emma has such a good shot in singles. She's gonna play the mixed doubles because it's with Andy and his last match and stuff, but it's not actually beneficial for her, I think. Well, in the end, she's not going to. Of course, I do not have any inside info, and I cannot tell you if she really is feeling something or if she just wants to focus on singles. But certainly quite unfortunate that the Andy Murray Wimbledon journey ends like that. Not in the sense that he had to play mixed or something, but the match was already announced and stuff, right? That's not the best, but he's also gonna have an Olympic send off one way or another, so it's not quite the end yet. And Roger Federer will not see him play, right? Because he came to London on Tuesday to watch him play, and he withdrew. On Thursday, he couldn't watch it because of some other commitments that he had, and today he came again, but he also won't get to see Andy. So instead of 3 sort of disciplines, if you may, at Wimbledon this year, Andy just featured in played 1 match, and with Jamie, of course, against Hijikata Pierce. Anyway, 15 all now. After the first 5 games, 6 games maybe, this was looking like very routine for Swiatek. The last few, definitely Putintseva is more in the match. She was so close to taking that break at the end of the first set. Now it's Swiatek messing up her timing on the +1 forehand here, so it's 15-30. And yeah, things are getting quite complicated. We have a view of the Henman Hill where people are sitting with umbrellas on and watching this match. Lots of them probably just got off of the outside courts and are now trying to wait around there. But I'm not sure there's going to be much more play today, right? I mean, how much time do they even have? About 4 hours? No, less, I guess, right? Probably. I'm not sure how long do they play actually, but let's say about 3.5 hours until the light will be until it will be too dark. So yeah, but Struff Medvedev will definitely have to be moved to an arena with a roof. It's a longer point. Świątek kind of has to take it, and she does. Some very precise shots there. Again, eventually it's Putintseva dumping this backhand into the net, but I think it classifies as a forced error. One thing I didn't check, and I kind of want to, is the Rune Alice score. So I think they're still in the 5-4 game, but I think Alice has managed to save himself from potential. Like, I think he's 40-30 up or something like that. I will check on the Wimbledon website. But anyway, yeah, the only other match going on right now is in court number 1, and that's Jabber playing Svitolina. So that's another match that I can keep an eye on. But for now, we won't get any outside courts action for a while, probably, maybe even not today. We'll find out. But yeah, I think we shouldn't be shocked. Another longer rally that Świątek manages to hold her own in and eventually gets that point. There's just too much spin, too much quality going at the Putintseva ground strokes, and eventually she takes it. Not convinced that the serve was out here, but they tell her it was. 40-30. What was I gonna check? Yeah, the where they stopped in. Oh yeah, Safiurin played just 1 point, as I told you earlier in that last game, but yeah, it still feels Frilov up in the 5th when they stopped, and I wanted to check when Alice and Rune stopped, as that seems pretty relevant. What a drop shot from Putintseva. She's definitely gonna win the point after that. Incredible backspin on it. Pretty high, actually, in terms of the trajectory. Yeah, and it's 40-30 when they stopped with Alice Rune, so he is, like, well, not out of the woods, but he is up in that game after being 15-30. Świątek still got the drop shot back in play, but by that point, the court was just wide open for Putintseva. And what I was going to check also is what's going to be happening on these courts after these matches, since it seems like, yeah, the outside courts action will be pretty tough today to keep going, unless there's going to be more clearer weather in the next few hours. Ooh, and this match might be getting less clearer as Iga Świątek misses that forehand +1 cross court. That return from Putintseva was on the line, I think, and not sure if Świątek had to go for such a low margin option, but she does. I mean, she did, and she missed it. So it's a break point for Putintseva now. Świątek up in the next rally, though, but Putintseva is very good at keeping these shots in play. That's probably on the baseline from Iga. Lots of quality on the forehand here. Again, very deep. Barely gets that one over the net. And she will eventually miss. Putintseva gets her to miss in the end. So it's 3-1 for the Kazakh, who manages to get the error in this longer rally. Some fantastic counter punching from her here. There was especially this one backhand who just came right back at Iga. You know, it was just as fast as the actual shot. And yeah, after Świątek Putintseva on court number 1, we are going to have Rybakina Woźniacki. And after Jabber Svitolina, we are going to have Popyrin Djokovic. Outside courts, we'll have to wait and see. As I said earlier, I believe that Struff Medvedev will have to be moved to a court with a roof. as whichever one finishes first, because they have to play tomorrow. The winner of that has to play tomorrow against Grigor Dimitrov, right? I think it is against Grigor Dimitrov, yeah. So tomorrow we will have Shelton Sinner, then Dimitrov against Medvedev or Struff in the men's on the men's, right? Alcaraz is gonna play Ugo Umber, and Tommy Paul will take on Roberto Bautista Agut. I think we already had a Tommy Paul Roberto Bautista Agut Grand Slam round 4. I think it was Australia last year, the one that we did in Bonn, or maybe it was a third round. No, it was the fourth round because Murray played Bautista Agut in the third round. A couple of great returns from Świątek, very different ones. One is just like a powerful return winner. The other is a chip that actually gets an error from Putintseva because it's short, smart, uncomfortable. Low 30. And then, of course, tomorrow we will also have the bottom half clashes on the women's. So I think that's Navarro Goff, right? Paulini Keys, Raducanu against Lulu Sun in that wonderful Cinderella run of the New Zealander or Swiss. Actually, yeah, I mean, she's just switched nationalities. So New Zealander, I think, right now. And where am I lacking? Badosa against Vekic. That's also pretty spicy. Another quality return in from Świątek. There's going to be a challenge from either player. I'm not sure what the original call is. I think it's called out. So I think it's now Świątek challenging, not Putintseva. I think it was close. I'm not positive, to be honest. Yeah, and it's out, but just by such. I mean, yeah, this again is like almost impossible for me to call with the human eye, especially sitting here, not exactly in London, not exactly on the court. Maybe if you're a line umpire and you have experience, maybe you catch that, but 30-30 anyway. Świątek playing this backhand cross, Putintseva with the slices. Świątek has to raise the ball, raise the shot. So Putintseva kind of got what she wanted. Incredible again. Jesus Christ. I mean, just incredible from Świątek here. The forehand winner down the line. And such a safe shot as well with the spin, but kept that line so well here. And it's going to be a breakpoint for Świątek. She's been putting in some quality returns this game. Hasn't taken advantage of all of them, but she's taken advantage of enough of them to get that breakpoint and to potentially get us back to, well, almost level terms. In the second set, Putintseva, I think, surprised that the serve was out, and it was indeed, or at least, that's how it was called. So Świątek definitely going to be lining up for this second serve return, trying to punish it just like she did on the second point of that game, on this side as well, of course. It's a different serve this time. She cannot blast it away for a winner. Gets that crouch shot, but Putintseva with the forehand counter down the line. That's really, really nice. Wrong footing Świątek completely here. Very tough to anticipate what she was going to do with that shot. Back at deuce then. I mean, not back at deuce, but we are at deuce now. Another good return from Świątek. Can she actually win the point though? Putintseva seems like she's really upped her consistency at the moment, and it's getting all sorts of errors from Świątek. Not easy for Iga right now to to simply hit Putintseva off the court, especially as she's down the break. She's gonna have to win some rallies to do it, not only like clinical serve points. And I think Putintseva should be getting that game with that serve, but she might not be actually. Yeah, the counter from Iga was a little like intuitive more than actually textbook technique here, but she finds the line here cross, and it's gonna be enough. Putintseva has some regrets here about this, and rightfully so. I mean, after the serve, after Świątek barely got a racket on the return, there was definitely potential for Yulia to do more with her +1 forehand here. Not exactly, the biggest part of her game, so I mean it's understandable, but still. And it's kind of the same story here again. Like it's a rally where Putintseva could be winning it in one shot, but she's just not. And she's allowing Swiatek to hang around in the point enough to eventually make an error. So it's going to be one more breakpoint for Iga. 4-1 for Putintseva, even though she's already done it this year, right? As I said in Rome, where like Swiatek came back from 4-1 against Putintseva. 4-1 for Putintseva would be a huge lead. So it's an important game for Iga. And missing that return is not it. I wonder if maybe the strategy of Nurlan would be better here. She did kind of not give herself that much time to produce this stroke. But then again, is the Putintseva serve that much of a threat? I think she probably had enough time to play it back anyway. Yeah, just like she did here. I mean, staying on the baseline, and there's really way more than enough time to get that shot in play. That's really nice and should be a great combo for Iga. Although, okay, yeah, that approach shot could have been much better. I think at some point she kind of had to step inside the court. The ball was pretty short, but then she didn't really have an idea as to what to do with it. She kind of just looped it at Putintseva, who doesn't make the pass. 14 shots, longest rally of the match so far, and it's going to be another breakpoint for Putintseva, for Swiatek, of course, to not allow Putintseva to consolidate. Okay, it stayed this time. I think it was a game or two ago when Swiatek hit this net court winner, which was dead. And this time, pretty close to that as well. 7 minutes into this game, which really might be so crucial for the entire set, right? I mean, 4-1 Putintseva. It's not a lead we haven't seen Swiatek recover from against her, but it's also a lead that still is sizable and still makes the margins of Swiatek so much slimmer. Whereas right now, 3-2, it will still feel like even game. And that second serve return is something that Iga definitely could be making. I mean, she's trying to be aggressive with them, she's trying to take them early and take time away from Putintseva. But especially on second serve return, it does kind of feel like a waste. This one is on first, though. This Putintseva make that shot on the baseline? I guess she did. She's making it really hard for Iga to win a point right now. Nice slice here as well. Swiatek handles the change of pace, but Putintseva is in the point, and she's like not like barely hanging in the point. She's in it. She's like fully in it, and she's 4-1 up now. Great reward for her for some real tough rallies that she made Iga play in this game. Also, there was this forehand down the line that she played on one of the breakpoints, right? That was so surprising and so impressive. So, Yulia Putintseva 4-1 up in the second set. Let's see if this is a similar story to their Rome match, where Swiatek returned from a 1-4 to win the set 6-4. Instead of Jabber Svitolina, they should have put either Iga or Ryba on center and Medvedev Struff on court one. That would have also helped them to finish the match. Yeah, I guess they just weren't. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess they just didn't want to instantly put 4 matches on court one or something like that. But yeah, eventually, Struff Medvedev will be on center anyway. So. Potential semi-finalist minimum. We completely ignore Zverev and Grass, but considering he's hardly dropping sets, we have to take him seriously. Yeah, we have to take him seriously as a potential semi-finalist. If we're speaking about Fritz Zverev in the forefront, I think that Taylor is the favorite on Grass. But I think we do have to start taking Zverev seriously here in this event. Yeah. I don't really like his grass game at all. I think in Halle he was also pretty shaky, but he's still a very solid player with a good serve, right? I mean, you sometimes don't really need much more with how open that third quarter is. So I think we do need to start taking him seriously as a potential semi-final contender, especially if he beats Taylor, of course. But then he will be in the quarters. So like, if you're in the quarters, then you're by definition a semi-final contender. But would he beat Novak Djokovic on grass? Mm, I don't know. Maybe this version of Novak Djokovic this year. I really don't know. I think Zverev is in a similar position to Novak to me. That I don't think he would beat Alcaraz or Sinner in the final. But yeah, I mean, we have to start looking at him as a potential semi-finalist. Yeah, I agree with that. We ignored him a little bit because Draper and Fritz seemed like guys who could beat him, but of course Jack eliminated himself out of the tournament first. And Fritz, I mean, we'll find out soon, hopefully. Under no circumstances does one need to take Alexander Zverev seriously. Well. I mean, he did just make the Roland Garros final. Putintseva having a really fun time out there. She wins this crazy point against Swiatek here and kind of invites the crowd for more support. What a forehand! What a backhand slice now down the line as well. She's really making Iga work for it right now. This is kind of the best of Putintseva's game, I think, this set so far. But Iga still wins the point as Putintseva is trying to go for another one of these surprise winners forehand down the line. She's been doing it very well. She's kind of actually playing this like Putintseva, like Svitolina last year, in a way. Um, Playing some pretty active defense and trying to find her opportunities to hit flat winners down the line. Like it's kind of the same story with Svitolina. I mean, she also had the backhand line other than the forehand. Putintseva only kind of has that forehand, but still, it's pretty similar. I'd challenge that serve if I was Swiatek, but well, I guess maybe she saw it better than me. It's a double fault anyway, so it's 15-30. It really is a similar story so far to the Rome match and that second set, which was 1-4, then a few break points, and then Swiatek wins 6-4. Of course, we don't know if the second part actually happens or not, but that's how it went in Rome. But yeah, now we have Iga in serious trouble, of course, in this set. I mean, she's very close to dropping it. She's not too comfortable presently, so at this point, we really have to start considering the possibility, just like Snehid was talking about the possibility of Alexander Zverev making the semifinals. We have to start taking the possibility of Yulia Putintseva pushing this to a decider seriously, and in such case, we also would have to start seriously considering the possibility of Yulia Putintseva winning this match because, well, she would not be that far off. What a slice from Putintseva as well here. She's pushed deep into that backhand corner. She barely gets to it and it skids off the surface. Very little net clearance, but it's so unpleasant for Swiatek. And well. We've got a breakpoint, so we really have that Rome story. And now it's all about whether Swiatek can repeat that domination after saving breakpoints that she had in Rome. Of course, it won't be easy, not at all. First, she has to save the breakpoint, and she does with a good serve out wide. And yeah, the other match, of course, as I mentioned, going on is Svitolina against Jabeur. They are on serve in the second set after Alina won the first set 6-1 very confidently there. It's gonna be another breakpoint as well. So that possibility of the third set is looking more and more likely by the minute. 1 out of 8 on breakpoints won Swiatek, 1 out of 5 Putintseva. Is it in? I guess it is. Yeah, I mean, I think there's gonna be a challenge, but it should be 5-1 Putintseva now. I think she found the line with this forehand. She has, yes. It's 5-1 Yulia Putintseva, and she's gonna be serving for the second set. Things aren't too pleasant for Swiatek at the moment. And well, that comeback that she made in Rome will be even tougher to do here. Soon enough, we might be entering that deciding set, especially as Putintseva grabs the first point with an unreturned serve, and really looks like she's in prime position to take this match. To take this set at the moment. She's played excellent to get herself in that position. It's gonna be a huge sort of like reset for Swiatek in the third set. That's required, right? Just get herself back on track, get herself back to playing more of her game instead of maybe playing with Putintseva. Although it's tough to do when she's just counter punching like this and mixing up rhythm as well. That's another one of these canon forehand return winners from Swiatek. We've seen like 3 of them so far, but I don't think either has resulted in a break. 3 returns like this from exactly the same serve by Putintseva. So she's kind of playing with fire going there. 40-15. Swiatek will be challenging the return. Personally, I think it was close, but Putintseva was so close to it that I think if she saw that it was gonna be in, she was gonna play it. And it is out, yes. So it's 40-15 now. I think it's 2 unreturned serves and 1 forced error this game that Putintseva managed to get from Swiatek. And she has 2 set points to get us to the deciding set. How smooth will she be? Very smooth. It's a great serve and a forehand into the other corner. 6-1, Yulia Putintseva. And we are going to have a deciding set between Iga Swiatek and Yulia Putintseva right after the break. I don't see Putintseva going to the toilet. I don't know about Swiatek. I will probably try to get myself some water. Yeah, she is going off the court, so the water just became an even more real possibility. Don't be scared if you see me, hobbling a little bit. My knee injury is back for some reason, but it will be fine soon, I hope. And all right, 6-3, 1-6. Swiatek indeed going off the court. So let me look at the stats that they're showing to us on screen right now. Just 22% of second serve points won, Swiatek in this set. And Putintseva making only 1 unforced error to 8 winners. And yeah, she just played an extremely good set of tennis. That's really all there is to say, I think. It is official, Iga cannot play, says Nurla. Oh. Iga Swiatek in deciding sets. It's been a while, says Snehil. Yeah, I guess. I mean, she rarely plays deciding sets, right? She usually wins them. But she usually wins in 2. But I mean, she played against Osaka at Roland Garros, and she, of course, saved the match point. Won a fabulous match there. But yeah, Putintseva played a phenomenal set here. Would it be sort of easier for Swiatek to respond to that on other surfaces? Yes. But, can't take any credit away from Putintseva either. Putting returns in play, making Iga work hard for every point, mixing up play whenever possible, changing to the slice, and also finding her own forehand opportunities, It's a great match so far. And we have just, they have just decided to give us the decider. Jelena Ostapenko awaiting anxiously in the next round, thinking, do I want to play Swiatek if I'm dominating her in the head-to-head, or do I want to play Putintseva, who's going to be easier for me to beat? And truth be told, I'm not sure what the answer is. I mean, I'm not sure what the potential sort of strategy would be for Ostapenko. Let me check what the head-to-head is between her and Putintseva, because that's also pretty interesting, I think. I'll just find that. Apparently, it's 2-all, and they haven't played since 2021, and they only played on hard courts 4 times. Putintseva won in Cincinnati and in Beijing, and Ostapenko won in Australia and Indian Wells. Yeah, can't really find any correlation between court speed, I guess, then in their rivalry, at least in this very small sample size of just 4 encounters. But yeah, I don't know who Ostapenko would like to play. Maybe Swiatek, she's kind of crazy, Ostapenko. I think she could just say, yeah, I mean, I own her. I can beat her again. But then again, it's Ostapenko. I mean, it's not like she's afraid of Putintseva either, right? Ostapenko is not afraid of anything. Snakes, maybe. Spiders, but no, not another tennis player. Why does it have to be snakes? That's what Indiana Jones used to say, and Iga Świątek says, why does it have to be Ostapenko? Although, in order to even set up that meeting with Ostapenko, she still needs to beat Putintseva here, who's having a great time today out there, both in terms of, well, her game, the last set, but also just, yeah, enjoying the atmosphere on center court, on court number 1, of course. Center court is Jaber Svitolina. Speaking of that Jaber Svitolina match, let's see. Putintseva very anxious, wants to play already, but Świątek is still gone. So Yulia is just walking around the court and shadowing her stroke motions. Jaber is 5-4 up on Svitolina, but they're still on serve in the second set. I wonder what happened in that opener there. Maybe one of you guys watched it, but seems like it was a bit of an error. Oh, actually, no. I mean, Svitolina, 10 winners and 2 unforced errors in the first set. So kind of like the Putintseva match here, 8-1 in that opener. I mean, in that second set. Just an incredible display of like gritty baseline tennis, and also playing like quite positive, with like a positive mindset to seek out opportunities if they show up. Świątek still not coming back off the court, but I think she will from the toilet, but I think she will have to in a tiny moment, as it's already been a while. Otherwise, the umpire would get angry. I read something that I forgot about actually today from the Indian Wells encounter, that Putintseva was reminded, or like sort of told off by the umpire there, that she was moving side to side when Świątek was prepping to serve, and was kind of trying to heckle her in that way. I don't think we've really seen much of any such possible like gamesmanship strategies from either player today, but fun thing to remember, I suppose, regarding that previous encounter that they had. Yeah, Putintseva is just really waiting around. She wants to play. She's smiling to her box now, or to the umpire. I don't know. Maybe it was to the umpire, actually. Kader Nuni in the chair today. But yeah, we still don't have Iga Świątek on court. People clapping. Is that because she's entering it again? Or is that... I think she's back now. Yes, she is. Along with the line umpire or someone from the organization. I don't really know. But yeah, she's back now. Talking to Nuni. Viktorovski is giving her some advice. Taking a racket out, and we should be playing the deciding set shortly. Putintseva still waiting on that court. I think she was standing near the baseline for like 3-4 minutes. But well, she didn't choose to keep sitting down. Anyway, right now we're back. Iga Świątek about to serve first in the deciding set against Yulia Putintseva. I think it's also new balls right after the right at the beginning of this set. So yeah, let's see. Will it be more of just extreme efficiency from Putintseva and making Świątek work so hard for every point? So far, the start is definitely really nice for the Kazakh. It's a deep backhand at the Świątek forehand that she sends, and it's gonna get her that error. This is really quite something right now. The way that Putintseva has been able to apply pressure to Świątek. Do you guys think that Putintseva can potentially sort of choke away a lead if she gets one? Maybe, right? I mean, she had that match against Rybakina in Madrid, where she was 6-4, 5-2 up, I think, and then missed like 4 match points or something like that. So I guess it wouldn't be anything extraordinary if she put herself in a good position and lost it. But first, let's see if she puts herself in that good position. Świątek spreading her forehand around the court pretty well. But then the final shot, seemingly, I mean, first of all, I was thinking she's gonna go for a winner down the line here. I mean, that was where the court was open. That was where the opportunities were, seemingly. But she actually just slams it cross court into the other direction, really. And yeah, it's just a wild mishit. So low 30. A few of these shots in the rally, I think, also show you that Świątek is a bit less comfortable on courts like this, because there were a couple of forehands where like she kind of shies away from them, and she kind of just whips it in. Even this one just now, and it's gonna be low 40 right away. Once again, just superb depth from Putintseva. On the first ball, it was the angle, it was the width of the shot that uh, granted Świątek some issues, but on the second shot, it's just pure depth down the middle. So Putintseva already with free break points here, as things aren't looking simple at all for Świątek right now. And it's gonna be game. A deep return at Świątek's feet, and she's gonna miss the forehand. So it's 4 errors that Putintseva, well, somewhat forced from her this game. I think maybe 1 or 2 could be classified as unforced, especially the second one. But yeah, it's a great start to the third set for Yulia Putintseva, who continues sort of her dominance even over this match. I can probably even say that, yeah, her dominance over this match. Radu is so winning this tournament. Unfortunately, Radu Albot lost already. So Radu Albot is not winning this tournament, Nurlan, no. This game will never be, this joke will never stop being funny. Hey, cross-court tennis. How many Raducanu is gonna have after 3 years? Probably still 1. Świątek on the attack here. Unbelievable shot that Putintseva gets back in play here. The backhand drive volley from Świątek was pretty good, actually. And Putintseva just finds that backhand down the line counter again. Yeah, I mean, she's just playing efficient as can be, really. The last few games, the last half an hour of tennis from her has been fabulous. She's not making errors. She's making Iga have to play 100 shots to win a point, and she's definitely getting the errors from the opponent as well. But a lot of them, she's working for them. You know, she's the one who is kind of the perpetrator. Oh, Iga is right here though. It's not gonna be a 30 love, and the serve was out. I was thinking she probably just. I was thinking she's probably gonna miss this challenge, but turns out only Świątek was right out of all the people on the court, and myself included, sort of. And she's actually gonna be 15 all. Let's see how crucial that ends up being. Very deep return at Putintseva. She tries to play this on the crouch. John watching football. Iga's head is gone, says Nurlan. I mean, did you watch the match against Osaka at the French? Was her head gone then when things weren't going her way? But I think it can happen more often in conditions she doesn't really enjoy that much. Um, Maybe they should have spread the matches out more. They did yesterday, and they were still criticized for that. But actually, I don't think that was the case. But first of all, you kind of have to think about it differently. That Struff and Medvedev still will be on the court today, right? I mean, they will just get them under the roof, so it's not that big a deal. Although one of them will not definitely, well, I mean, will not enjoy that position given he has to play Dimitrov tomorrow. And Dimitrov yesterday was again like 90% first serve points won or something like that. Coco Goff winning Wimbledon, says Matthew. If Iga is out, she becomes like what, second favorite after the Bakina. To me, Madison Keys also has an excellent chance of beating her, but I don't really trust anyone else in the bottom half to beat Goff. I don't think. I think only Keys. Hmm. Yeah, Badosa maybe. Someone yesterday on my Twitter commented that, like on a Twitter post of mine, someone yesterday commented that Badosa moving through against Kasatkina is also a problem for Goff. Well, first of all, they would need to meet in the semis, and I think if Paula makes the semis, then by then she's gonna be like ruined physically. I think even that match against Kasatkina will have taken a lot out of her. And yeah, I think if she makes the semis, beating Vekic and then Raducanu, then she's probably not beating Coco Goff. Would Raducanu have a good chance against Goff? Better than Badosa maybe. But yeah, I think Madison Keys kind of is the only opponent Goff is kind of, well, I can't say afraid of in the bottom half, but the one that would make her uncomfortable. And from the top, it's Rybakina or Świątek, yeah. What else do we have in the top half now, really? Oh yeah, Penko as well. Yeah, maybe Penko. Someone who can, come out and blast 1,000 winners. That's always dangerous. But yeah, 2 games to love now. First point as well goes to Putintseva, who gets a shorter ball and crushes it. She's just been playing at extreme efficiency the last set and a half, and well, not making any errors whatsoever. Let's see if Świątek can find any reaction. Maybe we'll have some nerves from the underdog as well. Putintseva does have a very sort of confident demeanor and just in general this confident aura about herself. I think she's very confident of herself and her game, but at the same time, yeah, I mentioned that Rybakina match in Madrid this year where we kind of saw that at some points, when the stakes get really tough, it might be a bit of a facade. So that's a very tough smash that Świątek just made. I actually kind of stunned that she went for it. Like, well, I wouldn't have in that position, definitely not, given what's happening in the match. But she made it. Extremely tough smash, really. That's tougher than the one I mentioned against Martic, which was like kind of middle of the court, falling backwards. This was like almost on the baseline, falling backwards. Especially considering she missed one that was 100 times easier earlier in the match. How's the football going? What is the first match today? England, Switzerland, I guess. Should be halftime right now, right? Putintseva spreading the court with her backhand. Will she just wrap up the point? She will. Yeah, she will force an error from Świątek. She's really dominating this rally here, Putintseva, and she's winning it as well. Yeah, it's 0-0 at halftime between England and Switzerland. I see. I think the whole world is rooting against England today, other than England. They really have not played some let's say beautiful football the entire tournament. But that can be said about a lot of teams. I mean, France still hasn't scored a goal from open play, right? In what, 5 matches now, and yet they are in the semifinals. I guess they've had like what, 270 plus 240 minutes to do it, and uh, and yeah, they haven't managed. So last 15 points, we've got 13 for Putintseva and 2 for Swiatek, as it's another just, yeah, solid depth from Putintseva, really getting these errors from Iga. 1540. And this, yeah, this one is completely on Swiatek, though. She dumps a short ball for, well, not a short ball, but she dumps the middle of the court plus one forehand into the net. So it's 15. So it's 3 games to love up in the third set. Putintseva already. It's double break for the Kazakh. And well, things are running away from the world number one very quickly. She's now down a double break in the deciding set against Putintseva. Third round at Wimbledon. 2022 at Wimbledon, she lost in this very round against Alice Cornet, but that was in straight sets. Last year, of course, in the fourth round was when she struggled against Belinda Bencic, saved 2 match points, very good points there, and then she lost to Elina Svitolina in the quarters. Before then, also not never really made like that much impact at Wimbledon, but well, the Swiatek career kind of starts in 2022 in a way, or like starts again. And is just a completely different thing. So yeah, it would still be a big surprise to see Putintseva taking out Swiatek, but she is playing extremely well. Last 4 games, we've got forehand quality, just 4.8 for Swiatek and 9.5 for Putintseva. And that, according to the graph here, is the speed, spin, depth, and width of every forehand. 9.5 for Yulia, which is pretty wild, considering she's not even dominating most of these points. Although the last few games, actually, she's more and more ahead. You know, she's actually playing on the front foot quite a lot. Anyway, 3 games to love in the third. This has to, like, if Swiatek wins this, this will be another one of these like super gritty wins that from time to time we see her get. Of course, Sabalenka Madrid, Osaka Roland Garros, but it's not what she's known for, right? Her trademark is just demolishing opposition and just not giving them a chance. Today, Yulia Putintseva definitely has a chance, but I would still argue that for the most part, she has earned herself that chance. It's not something manufactured for her by Iga. Well, that second serve return could be better for sure, though. 15 all. Putintseva with a nice drop shot here as well. Swiatek is like kind of gasping and saying, "How did I miss that?" And well, usually it's not that much of a problem that she misses a shot like this, but yeah, at this stage she just doesn't have any freedom left. I mean, she doesn't really have any space um, to make errors, and she made this one. I think it's forced, but still. Should be a point for Putintseva. Yes, 40-15. Great serve. The return barely makes it back into play. Putintseva just swats it away. And we might get a 4-love lead soon. So at 4-love, we will definitely be talking about like a comeback of the century if she wins it. But yeah, it's a pretty scary result for Swiatek. Like that sort of complete beat down, in the last 2 sets, because at 6-1 in the second set, like we were probably expecting Swiatek to, get the first game in the third set, right? Just kind of stay on top despite of what was happening, and then, at least for the third set to be more competitive. But right now, I mean, now that she's lost 10 of the last 11 games, and in fact, hasn't she lost like a lot more games in a row as well, right? She's lost 9 games in a row now. This is like a very weird scoreline at this stage as well. Second set, it felt right that like Putintseva is winning it somewhat comfortably, sure, but you still felt like Swiatek was very much in it. Right now, she has no idea what to do, and Putintseva is just having fun out there. I mean, look at that drop shot lob combo. It's incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible. I think Swiatek played it pretty well too. The response to that drop shot, and yet this is the position she finds herself in. Yet she loses this point. Yet she has to track down that lob and yeah, can't make much of it because it's again perfect from Putintseva. The efficiency of Yulia's tennis the last set and a half has been brutal. Swiatek needs to be on her absolute best behavior to win this, and she's just not delivering that either. It's a great shot from Swiatek here. Completely like half volleying that forehand plus one. But yeah, at this stage, I mean, we'll see. It's important to get that first game on the board, stop the rut, and then she can actually start trying to claw her way back into this. We'll see what Putintseva's reaction is if she faces adversity at all. I mean, so far she's kind of been flying out there, and of course that drop shot lob combo, she had a very vivid reaction to it as well. Once again, kind of like inviting the crowd for support. But yeah, let's see if she faces any adversity, what her response to that will be. 40-15 here, and I think Iga finds this ace out wide, so she stops the streak of 9 lost games in a row. But things are not looking simple for her at all. It's 2 breaks up for Putintseva. And well, the game after the break, I would argue that it might be very crucial. Do you feel like you deserve to get your tongue beat by a bee for saying that Iga has the best forehand after watching this? Well, definitely not. I mean, why would I? It's the best shot in the game in slower conditions, especially, right? I mean, just the mix of the pace and spin on it. That's something that's kind of unheard of in women's tennis. And yeah, I do think that offensively, for sure, it's the best shot in the game. Defensively, though, a little less so. Little less so. And that I never argued actually, because yeah, obviously it has issues with handling pace. Today it's not like handling Putintseva's pace, though, right? It's killing her. It's just like that constant depth and well, it is pace in a way, but just constant depth bounce that she's not fully comfortable with, given the backswing of the shot and its technical side. But yeah, I do think that offensively it's the best forehand in the game for sure. And safety wise as well, the precision that she can get on it while still going hard at it. I mean, I don't really know what that much would mean to me. I mean, it's not like Swiatek hasn't been the best player of the year anyway. So I don't really know what one performance where she's not finding her best weapons would really change. Yulia Putintseva is one of 2 players from Kazakhstan competing in the ladies singles, and both reached the round 3 with Rybakina. Kazakhstan also had this interesting record in the qualifying, where for a while they were unbeaten. They were literally 10-0 going into the final round with Diaz on the women's and with Skatov, Yevseyev, Zhukayev, and someone I'm forgetting about on the men's going to getting to the final round, and then they all lost in the final qualies round. So some great stats regarding Kazakhstan for sure in this event. I don't remember who the fourth one is. Skatov, Yevseyev, Zhukayev, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's not Popko. It's definitely not Popko. I don't know. Yeah, and Swiatek is not really threatening in this game. She needs to find a break soon, and she's not. She's not close to. I mean, she's really just this game. She's like pretty much handing to Putintseva on a silver platter. So I have to check how many unforced errors Putintseva has this set, but we know she had one last set. I don't think she has more this time. Maybe it's maybe one tops again. I mean, she's just been brutally efficient, while Świątek is not struggling to really connect with anything here. Oh, I guess she's just made an unforced error, which was a double fault, but still. So set 1, Putintseva made 11 unforced errors. Set 2, she made 1. And then set 3, she also has just 1 so far, which I guess is this double fault. And in the second set, was it also a double fault? No, it was. Yeah, I remember that unforced error actually in the second set. Yeah, it was not a double fault. Świątek trying to spread the court here, but once again, I think she will make an error, just a tiny one behind the baseline. Forehand cross. That was a great point from her, but the finish isn't there. And that's kind of the match, right? As well, that she's made to play one more shot, and she's not getting it done. Anyway, 5-1 up now, Putintseva. Things are getting increasingly tricky for Świątek. She will need to win 4 games in a row to get back into the match. And at this stage, I really don't know if she can. It would have to be some sort of a collapse from Putintseva as well, right? I mean, she can win 4 games in a row against Putintseva. Sure, she did already this year a couple of times, I think. But it with the way that the match has been trending, it kind of has to be some sort of a Putintseva help as well. And wow, I mean, Świątek is chasing down this drop shot from Putintseva. I really should be putting this away. But you can see how nervous she is right now as she misses this forehand. Pretty much on top of the net. I mean, literally unmissable. And she just shanks it, which at this stage really is just nerves. We might be getting that upset here. And we might even be getting it this game. And well, especially now that Świątek double faults, she was trying to go really hard at this one. Lots of kick to the backhand, very good placement. But yeah, I mean, that was just maybe a little too much, even, given the situation. She's 2 points away from losing the match. Looks like this might be one of these losses where she does not really produce that fight back effort, even though, of course, she's trying to, but you don't really see it reflected in the patterns of play or anything else. 15:30 now. That was a nice point from Iga, eventually getting to the net. Forehand drive volley at the Putintseva backhand. She can't make the pass. This should be easy cleanup, and it is. 30 all. kind of delayed the stroke on the backhand. I wonder if this was planned or not. Was she just waiting around to see if where Putintseva goes, or did she actually mess something up as well? But anyway, the end result is important. 2 points away from losing the match still, but also 2 points away from getting at least one more game onto the scoreboard and, well, seeing if Putintseva will have that collapse or not. But yeah, of course, absolutely vital for her to win the next point as well. Not give the Kazakh a look at ending the match. Second serve, pretty... Ooh, and that's an unforced error from Putintseva. So I guess she's now made free in the last two sets. 40-30 for Swiatek. Ooh, yeah. Now that's Swiatek with an error that should not be happening to her, and it wasn't in the first set, right? We remember her serving so great and like hunting these +1 opportunities. Now she can't really find that. So once again, we are in that position, 2 points away from the match, but Iga Swiatek fights an ace down the tee. Fifth ace of the match. Putintseva hasn't hit one yet, and she has another chance to get us to 2-5, which would be entertaining, I have to say. Like 2-5, yeah. I just want to see what Putintseva will be like in the next game. You know, how confident will she remain when she's trying to serve it out? I still think she will. You know, if it's 5-2 and she has two chances at it, I would assume that she will be able to do it. But well, we'll find out soon. Was that return on the baseline? I guess it was. So it's deuce again. It was very close to game Świątek, but it's actually a return on the baseline from Svitolina. I keep saying Svitolina. Putintseva. Maybe it's because Svitolina is playing on the other court, or maybe it's because Svitolina beat Świątek last year at Wimbledon. Putintseva trying to go forehand down the line here. She misses it, so it's now forehand first errors in the last two sets. She's kind of ruining the stats. And we will have that 5-2 game. Iga Świątek manages to hold. Wasn't easy. There were a couple of deuce points and 30 all, but she will be back after the break as Yulia Putintseva serves for the match for the first time at 5-2 up in the third. But yeah, this is still very, very far from a comeback attempt from Świątek. So, well, she'll need to really spice, like ramp it up in the next point, in the next game. Try to get these returns in that she wasn't able to when she was 1-4 down, right, just a second ago. And we'll see how that goes. I mean, she hasn't broken Putintseva in ages, obviously, since the first set. My scoreboard is locked up. Oops. Whoops. Whoops. Should be fine now. Isn't it fine? Yeah, it is fine now. Okay. It unlocked in the second. That's good. Well, I was wrong. I think Iga had game enough on grass for a Wimby title. I mean, she probably does, last year she had a good chance, I think. Emotionally so overcharged. Yeah, that's a funny way of putting it, but it is the case. We'll see if she is stressed or not right now. I like Nurlan taking the Mr. Kust from someone else. Iga has no idea at which pace she has to. I already read that comment, which is true. I mean, yeah, she's really out of ideas here. But she takes this point now, 15 off. she's really out of ideas and kind of is waiting for that collapse. As Sid said in the chat, I mean, Putintseva is a very, yeah, like she said, a gangster on the court and like a big time character. She can kind of fall apart like she did against Rybakina in Madrid, but it's about whether Swiatek will even give her the chance to do it now. Well, she might not, as she's mishitting another return. So 30-15 for Miss Putintseva. Backhand return from Swiatek. How does Putintseva even get that back in play? And she finds the forehand winner down the line as well. Holy hell. Another incredible point from Putintseva. What a combination. I mean, getting that on the squash shot and then taking her chance when she saw it. This is incredible to set up 2 match points. And she's in the point, Yulia Putintseva, and she's gonna lose it. Nice width on the backhand cross court from Swiatek. 1 match point has been saved, but even the serve itself was pretty good. This was quite a nice match point save from Swiatek. If she finds one more, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. This still looks very, very tricky for her, even if she would win the game, even if she would keep herself in that match. Putintseva serving. Swiatek will put the return in play. It's a slice from Putintseva. Swiatek pushing her on that backhand wing, and she's gonna get the point again. Gonna be deuce. Couple of lovely points from Swiatek. This is kind of reminding me of Bencic last year when for the entire match she wasn't really comfortable with what Belinda was playing. Sort of the ball of Belinda, you know, and how flat it is, and just wasn't really comfortable with the timing there. But then on match points, she actually plays amazing rallies, and then it's kind of the same here. But this one should go to Putintseva, and she's so smart as well to use that drop shot here, not go for the backhand, but she sees that Iga is on the back foot and will never make it from that spot. She doesn't even attempt to track it down. So it's third match point. Second serve for Putintseva. And Swiatek will try to hunt this second serve return, but she's dumping it into the net. Yulia Putintseva has just eliminated the world number 1 from Wimbledon. Third round, 3-6, 6-1, 6-2. Well, lots to talk about in this one for sure. I mean, definitely an incredible performance from the Kazakh. At one point, she made 2 unforced errors across 13 games, which is just, incredible efficiency. We have to remember that like Swiatek was hitting through her pretty well in the opener. There were some like quick +1 opportunities that basically disappeared from the match as well later, or when they did appear, they weren't taken advantage of. Once Swiatek was like put under pressure by that brutal efficiency from Putintseva, all the issues with her grass timing and kind of her shots just breaking down returned. She didn't really know how to build up points anymore. She didn't really have an idea how to hit through Putintseva, who was just a wall out there. And instead of Swiatek Ostapenko in the fourth round, we will actually get Ostapenko Putintseva. This really opens up the event as well. I mean, maybe Ostapenko was gonna get Swiatek out anyway after watching this match today, even if it's such a different matchup. I kind of think that would have been a real possibility. I thought so pre-match as well, I guess. Maybe not Putintseva, but Ostapenko could. And yeah, I mean, just in general, I think, right now, or maybe Ostapenko will relish this opportunity. Maybe Putintseva gets one more win. I mean, the draw that Putintseva has had to come through, Kerber, Siniakova, Świątek, this is literally just so tough. And yeah, she wasn't missing in the second and third sets. Świątek really got in her own head once again. And well, it's not a great loss for her, obviously, but she kind of bought herself that chance, right, with the Roland Garros title, that even if something goes wrong at Wimbledon or in the North American hardcourt season, it's not that big a deal. And now, of course, the focus will be on the Olympics, where we'll be back on clay. Świątek is, of course, the big favorite there, and kind of the favorite over the field, even just like she was at Roland Garros. We'll see how she handles that pressure there. For Yulia Putintseva, fourth round, great run. First time actually she makes the second week at Wimbledon, and in fact it was even her first third round appearance today. And she will play Jelena Ostapenko. She hasn't really faced in a couple of years, since 2021, but she holds a two head-to-head record with Ostapenko. I think it's a very nice a sort of clash of styles as well. Should be an entertaining match. And Snehi says that he never thought of her as a Wimbledon champion this year. I didn't, because like if she plays Rybakina or pretty much Rybakina or Sabalenka, then I wouldn't have considered her the favorite. But against the rest of the field, I don't know. I think John is gonna join the chat to remind to subscribe. Yeah, whenever someone kind of like shows up out of nowhere, then he does that. But I'm not at that level yet. Anyway, what else was there? Sid also said that Putintseva is very talented and emotional. Based on a couple of previous matches I watched, her very audible, the dramatic self-criticism when she makes a mistake seems well known. Yeah, absolutely. And at the beginning of the stream, I was talking about her famous interactions with the coaches when we had on-court coaching in the WTA, where she was like screaming at them really, rather than actually talking to them in any sensible way. But today she was like having fun out there, right? Today she wasn't like that. Today in sets 2 and 3, she was just like enjoying the show. She told the crowd like, bring it on, bring even more support. After every single good point, she was like, yes, pumped up, clenching the fist. And yeah, I mean, she's absolutely done it. I think that was a phenomenal performance for sure. And well, Iga Świątek goes home. She still hasn't won a Wimbledon title. Will come back next year. Will she come back stronger? Who the hell knows? Right now, for her, the focus obviously will be the Olympics, and that's where her mind should be setting. That's what her mind should be set on in the near future. Fourth round, Ostapenko Putintseva should be very entertaining. Later today, you guys should get last ball drops as well. I think it's going to be Nick with somebody. I was asked if I can do it, but I don't think I can with the Modena final at 9 p.m. So anyway, that's going to be, of course, after all the matches are done. This time we also have on the other courts, we've got Svitolina and Jabeur, of course. Have they finished already? I'm not sure. But after Świątek, there should be Rybakina and Wozniacki coming on. And then later we will have on center court as well, Djokovic, Popyrin. As I said, I believe that if the outside courts won't be back in action today, then they will have to put on Struff, Medvedev. Oh no, they're playing, but they're back playing on the outside courts. Okay, never mind then. And 5-4 as well, Collins, Haddad, Maya. Okay, that's interesting, given that Haddad Maia was 4-love up in that match earlier. But yeah, they're back playing on the outside court. So yeah, Struff, Medvedev are now wrapping up anyway. And yeah, there's a lot of action to follow. Svitolina defeated Jabeur on center court. So should be Popyrin and Djokovic should be coming on soon. Probably a bit earlier than Rybakina, Wozniacki on court number 1. Anyway, from me, for now, that's it. And yeah, we'll see about Świątek, and there's a discussion in the chat already about her multiple surfaces, slams, and stuff. I mean, she's won the US Open, and I think she's, it really changes the whole perspective on her career already that she has that one title. Because if she only had the French, we would be talking about it like a lot, that she's only winning there. But, Rafael Nadal had a 14 out of 22 at the slams, in terms of 14 at the French, 22 slams in general. for a while he really didn't have that many on other surfaces. I don't know. Maybe she's gonna go for something similar. I don't think she will get to 22, but there are a lot of possible scenarios, of course, for the rest of her career. As I said earlier, I mean, getting that Roland Garros title kind of takes the pressure off the rest of Swiatek's season, so it's not that big a deal for her to lose today. Although she kind of showed that the grass game is still a little, well, I mean, once there's pressure, the timing can go off and just kind of go AWOL, and there's not much she can do in terms of hitting through an opponent like Putintseva, when she usually on slower courts, especially on clay, she would just have more options, more time, more sort of natural instinct in terms of how to do it. Today she just didn't have that. I mean, she really just was uncomfortable enough against that sort of brutal efficiency from the opponent that she didn't get it done. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. Keep tuning into Talking Tennis content. Last ball drops later today, and hopefully see you soon on some other stream. See ya, guys.